Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 56, and today we are starting things off outside the new blaze farm that we built in the previous episode of Hermitcraft, and you probably shouldn't stand there if you want to look at it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't need to put a roof on that thing because you sit underneath, but I hadn't thought of the fact that when you approach the blaze farm, you do kind of walk on top of it, so maybe that's something that we'll have to change. But this is the new blaze farm that we built. Essentially, I wanted to light up one of my builds with end rods. I realized that no one in the town was selling them, and then I finally looked up the crafting recipe for end rods. I've been playing Minecraft for 8 years now, never thought to look up how to make an end rod, and it turns out it's really easy. Both the items in an end rod are totally farmable, so I thought it would be smart to build up a blaze farm, and this blaze farm right here is so simple. It doesn't rely on any redstone or any pistons or anything. The blaze just make their way into the killing chamber because solid blocks. That's about as far as my understanding goes. You'll have to watch Nembom's video on it to actually make sense of it all. But this design's awesome. It's awesome. It was super easy to build. And now we have stacks upon stacks of end rods and stacks upon stacks of blaze rods. I mean, it can be much better. Now, obviously, I currently have way more than I need. So I thought it would be a good idea to be a little entrepreneuring hermit and create a couple of new shops, because there's also melons and pumpkins. I mean, we have, how many melons and pumpkins do we actually have these days? Quite a lot. Quite a lot of those, and yeah, quite a few of those. So melons and pumpkins obviously very handy for villager trading, and then end rods just handy for looking really cool. And because no one else is selling them, I mean, it only makes sense. So yeah, let's get to it. So where do we build this thing? I was thinking somewhere. I mean, it has to be near the eye trader. And I want to try my best to make it not obvious that it is to do with trading, but also semi-obvious. And it's not going to be a big store. This seems like a really strong spot. Has no one claimed this yet? This seems like prime real estate to me. Yeah, I mean, this is spot on. This is exactly what I needed. I'm hoping that this should actually be everything. Like, it's really not going to be a particularly big build. I don't know whether to spread that out. Yeah, maybe. I honestly, I can't remember the last time I looked at a pumpkin. You know, we don't really celebrate Halloween too much in the UK. Didn't see too many pumpkins then. You know what? That's actually not that bad. I think maybe round off the edges a tiny bit, so then it's a little bit less kind of cubic, and then also take out that edge there. I think we might be onto something. Ladies and gents, there is a phantom in the nether and he seems confused. Oh, no, he stopped being confused. He stopped being confused and attacked me. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good name for my little store. Perfect. And if we pop inside, everything's looking a tiny bit orange. I've just placed the sign accidentally. Let's get rid of that one. And yeah, everything's looking pretty good. In fact, you know what? I think that's a little bit too green on that ceiling there. Let's just get rid of that. Perfect. It's literally like being on the inside of a pumpkin, and that's exactly what we want. Nice. You know what? While we're at it with the pumpkin stuff, I think we should probably get rid of this pumpkin. What's the date currently? December the 12th? That's quite a long time since Halloween. I forgot how stupid this thing looks. This is I mean, it is so goofy. I forgot how goofy it was. I wonder, has anyone donated to Iskal? Oh my word, someone actually donated 2 diamonds. That's awful. 12 hours and 1 sleep later. Whoa, we have filled up with sugarcane. And I mean, we've got a decent number of pumpkins. And a decent number of melons. But I'm actually a little bit disappointed by that. You know what I think will stop me from feeling disappointed? Miniature golf. Who doesn't like a game of miniature golf? I'm actually going to pop over there and I'm going to take a look at what holes are there currently, and then also look into building one myself. Wow, this place is looking amazing. So much has changed since I was last here. Oh my word, this looks fantastic. This looks so cool, and this is Here is the miniature golf course. So I need to claim a plot. So here is... reindeer bait. Entrance to hole 3. Okay, so yeah, so I think each one of these. Entrance to hole 2. Oh my word, this is getting complicated. Alright, I'm gonna need to read up on this. This is genius, by the way. These genuinely look like chocolate bars. Oh, and those candy cane designs are beautiful. Sorry, I need to stop getting distracted. I've actually claimed my plot, and I've also done a little bit of research into the different color coding techniques and the different ways in which we can do things inside this build. And I have to say, yeah, I'm super excited for this. This is going to end up looking really, really cool. So I think the first thing I've got to do is I'm actually going to build up, I guess, the entrance to this place. Now we're going to need a lot more resources than this. Seriously, I've been back and forth to the golf course and then back to my base probably about 7 or 8 times without really even placing a single block. I just keep forgetting important things. It's driving me up the wall. I don't know what to say. Let's give this a test then. So if I throw this into here, that shoots up like that, and then shoots up onto the next level. That looks so cool. Alright, that's perfect. So that gives us a little bit of height to work with. I wonder if I should do it... I wonder how far that will go. I'm just trying to think how to kind of transition us into this area here. I think maybe I might have another water stream that then drops us down into this area, because then this is where I want my redstone bit to be. So it goes through this. Oh wow, okay. I actually think I need to create a reset system here, because we can't have the hermit dropping it there, because then they might never be able to actually make it onto the top level. Right, let's work on that real quick. So that system all seems to work. So now if I mess up, it will drop through into this hopper and then be dropped back out. So the hermit's essentially wasted a shot. And just as a top tip, throw it really low on this. It seems counterintuitive, but that's the way to do it. Anyway, next part of the process is we need it to go all the way up like this. I'm then getting it to jump over a barrier, and then, yeah, fall through that hole right there. So that has actually worked perfectly. So you see this piece of stone here? That is literally just popped through this area, and that's then going to drop into a chamber, which is going to have a redstone activated slime block golf ball launcher, which is going to launch it through this redstone obstacle, which is going to be the centerpiece for the entire build. So let me just quickly try and work out all of this. I wonder how powerful actually is this thing. If I just somehow manage to get some form of golf ball up there. Right, if we give this a press, let's see. Okay, that's pretty powerful, but that hasn't actually ended up working. I wonder why that is. Oh, of course. It all works flawlessly. Nice. So now that that part is done, it's time to move on to the centerpiece of the entire build. And this is probably going to have to be quite pretty now that I think about it. But the idea is that we're going to have a piston feed tape which rotates solid blocks and upside down half slabs. The upside down half slabs will allow the item to fly through. Obviously the solid blocks will stop it, and then it will drop down into some form of chamber and then be redispensed back out near this slime block here. So it will essentially reset the mechanism. I absolutely love this idea, but it is going to be quite complicated to make. That was a very, very close shave indeed. These guys, man. And go. Well, that's not the best of signs. Yeah, this thing seems to have broken itself. How exactly? 1 tick, 4 ticks, 4 ticks, 1 tick. That should totally be working. Right, let's try again. Okay, that's a little bit more like it. I'm guessing there was a piece of redstone missing or something. Okay, let's turn this off. I now need to redo all of the block placement inside our piston feed tape, but that is actually the system functioning, and I would say that's about the right speed too. Right, so now it's time to work out the logistics of how we're going to return the item back to this location if the hermit messes up. So, I guess the first thing that we should do is actually shoot one through. Yeah, I should probably put an item there. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, so now that's in place. Right, let's try and shoot one through this gap here. Whew, that was pretty close. So we managed to do it. But then if we do it with a block, I'm guessing, or at least I'm hoping, it crashes into it, and then it drops down into that hopper. Alright, okay, that's perfect. And then from that hopper, I'm going to send it on a little bit of like a wild rapids ride that the hermits can watch. So when they mess up, it's not totally heartbreaking because they'll end up being able to watch their golf ball, do some loop-the-loops, and then eventually make its way back onto that block there so that they can try it again. However, I've just realized that this is really, really ugly. So I think I'm going to swap it out actually for some spruce wood. Spruce wood seems Christmassy to me. Right, this is looking far better. That's much, much better. And I thought I would actually go through and fill in some of the extra bits as well. So I'll start looping around some of this stuff. And actually, I've just thought, so that needs to be solid. I'm guessing all of this needs to be solid. We need to stand there. And this is the entrance to the course. So all of this is going to have orange carpet on it, I believe. Okay, yeah, but spruce is going to outline the entire course. Oh my word! That made me jump so much. So I just... Is he really doing this now? Oh, for goodness sake. So, for those of you who don't know, in the previous episode of Hermitcraft, I asked for some end rods. And, yeah, I was going back and forth with this gal for probably about 15 minutes, negotiating down from 1,000 diamonds down to 6 diamonds. And then he tells me they actually doesn't have any. But it looks like he's come through and he's given them to me, which I much appreciate. I do now have 80 stacks, though, so... yeah, it's a little bit late. So let's see what our golf course now looks like. Okay, it looks a tiny bit more substantial. It still looks quite technical, but it's looking much, much better. That's looking really cool. And once we get all of the green carpet in as well, it will look a tiny bit less icy, which is quite cool. But yeah, this is our item transportation system that is going to be returning our item back to this position. So that's now all completed. All we have to do now is this final section, which is going to take us to the end hole. And to be honest, I don't actually know what to do with this area. I really don't. I kind of planned out this section, then forgot that I actually need to do the home straight. I've come up with a little something, which is just a piston pusher that if you don't time it correctly, the item will be pushed into the water and then make its way back. We have to build an item elevator here, and for some reason I'm struggling. Yeah, it's a little bit embarrassing. So I've decided to keep things super simple. So the item, when it goes through this system, will end up on that slab down there, and then obviously we'll pick it up. And if we throw it and it makes its way into the water, which I've actually managed to not do, then it will go through the water stream and end up back in our inventory. So that's about as simple as it gets. How am I struggling with this? All I've done is extended out the redstone line from our piston feed tape into these pistons, and it seems to function, but it is incredibly difficult, so that's not going to make it. You have to actually throw just as the piston... No, that's too late. You kind of have to anticipate when the pistons are, and there we go. We made it, and that should shoot through into our hopper. So there it is. That is our hole all completed. That's the entire system done. Now we actually have to do all of the gaps in between because, yeah, this place is looking pretty horrendously ugly right now. I'm going to be honest, already, now that we're starting to get grass in, it's looking so cool. Like, just seeing all of this coming together, it's making me very, very happy. I'm glad we took on the challenge of building one of these mini golf courses. Now, the question is, does this work with carpets in place? The answer is no, and there's a phantom here, and I just don't want to be anywhere near here. Literally had a bed in my inventory that entire time. That all could have been solved quite easily. Turns out that actually quite a large quantity of my build doesn't work that well with carpets, but that has actually functioned flawlessly. So that goes up there. You know what, let's play the entire hole. So that's now dropped down there. Shoot that. Makes its way over to that section. So that's another shot. And then we have to go for this, which this is by far the most tricky obstacle. No! Was that it? No! I think that was it. And there we go. It's dropped down into the hole. Amazing! So now it's just all the finishing touches, all of the snow layers, all that sort of thing, candy canes, you know, stuff to make it really, really pretty. Because I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is actually a kind of competition. At least there's going to be prizes for the winners. Exumavoid is judging it all. This is all Exumavoid's idea, and I thought I'd get involved with this one. So there we have it, ladies and gents. This is my golf course in all of its glory. Finished, completo, finito. feeling very good about it. I really, really like this place. I think it's pretty sweet. We've got some candy canes. We've got all of the snow layers in. It actually functions quite nicely too. I'm proud of this. Really, really proud of this. But we are going to be moving on. That took way longer than I care to admit, and also than I expected. It is time to move on to the next project of today's Hermitcraft episode, which I think you guys are really going to appreciate. For me, this is just hilarious. As we all know, Mr. Iskall has fallen on hard times a little bit, and not only is he charging people thousands of diamonds, he's attempting to charge people thousands of diamonds for things that he has, but also he's asking for donations in the shopping district. And I'm a nice guy, you know, and Iskall is a good friend of mine. I feel like I should donate to him, but I'm not just going to put it in the chest, because that's quite boring. We're going to make him work for it. If there's one item that I never seem to have resources for, it would be a writable book. What are they called? A book and quill. Yeah, I just never seem to have them. I can't believe my brain went to writable book. That doesn't even make any sense. Anyway, my devious plan is that I am going to build the most expensive flying machine. Okay, so this is going to be a ridiculously expensive flying machine that I am going to sit in. And I'm going to put a donation inside Iskall's chest, but it's not really a donation. It'll be a book and quill that explains that his donation is currently flying into the distance, and if he can catch up with it and find it, then he'll be able to keep all of the resources on there. I have no clue how far I'm going to go. I have no clue how soon Iskall is going to discover it. He is online right now. So yeah, I think this could be quite interesting. Now, I sincerely hope this works. I want to create kind of like a private jet looking thing, because obviously that's going to look pretty expensive and fairly impressive for Iskall. So I've created the tail here, and now it is time to actually start creating the build itself. So that is 4 blocks. Okay, I think we might have to split this up a little bit. So we'll have 3 blocks, and then we'll surround that with things like iron and other bits and pieces. And then I guess we have another piston at the end. So that there will be a redstone block, and then this will also push into another set like this, so kind of like another module. And that should do it. Except our flying machine is way too fast, so that means that we can only have 1 attachment to each set of the slime blocks, which is a bit of a shame. I really like the way that this looks, but we've hit the block push limit, which means that we're going to have to make some sacrifices as to what blocks get involved. And I can't take those end blocks off because it just looks so snub-nosed. I really don't know what to do. So I think that's my fighter jet, or just private jet, all fully completed. So we have got plenty of diamonds, we've got plenty of iron blocks involved there. In theory, all of it should be functioning, and I've actually been trying to work out where I'm going to sit in this thing, and I think it's going to be in here in a minecart. So that's where I am going to be going. In fact, I could just potentially swap that out for a cauldron. Stand in there. Yeah, if I did that, then yeah, that could be a cauldron right there. I could chill in there, and then I could even put another diamond block above me so that phantoms don't spawn. That might actually be quite a good idea. Dearest Iskall, I hear you have fallen on hard times, and I am here to help. I wish to donate to you my private jet. You may keep all the resources it is made of, and kill the pilot if needed. However, first you must catch it. It took off from x equals 20, y equals 253, and is headed south at a fairly fast pace. Who knows how far away it will be by the time you get there. I do hope this helps though, your good friend, Mumbo. Right, that is the book that we're going to be putting inside the donations box. Then I'm going to chuck all my resources in the ender chest, take off everything because there's a high likelihood that I'm going to die, and I don't fancy flying back anyway, so I will kill myself. And then we are ready to actually try this. I'm terrified. Why do I not have any flint and steel? Okay, there's a flint. I didn't actually realize that flint was in the storage system. So yeah, that definitely helps. Can you tell I'm nervous? I really can't get my words out right now. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. Did that really not act? Oh, that doesn't work how I thought it would. So let's try something slightly different. I'm going to try a fire charge. I feel like a fire charge might work instead of a flint and steel. So let's give that a whirl. I was almost certain. Are they not? Do they sell fire charges? Long story short, they didn't, so I've swapped out our dispenser for a water dispenser. I've also swapped out these solid blocks for half slabs because they would have actually powered this piston and broke it. So it's very good. It's very good that our system didn't work first time. Anyway, once again, all items have been removed. The half slab is going in, and I'm getting scared again. Ah! This is... I'm so scared. Go. What? No! My jet worked, but I don't fly in it. I fell through the floor. No! That's the worst private jet I've ever seen, and now I have no way to get it. I have no way to catch it again. And I'm back at the spawn chunks. Oh no, this is terrible news. This is awful. Oh, I've totally messed up. I gotta say though, I've just logged in with my second account. This thing looks glorious. Look how cool this looks, and also look how far it's already gone. It's already so far out over the modern district. This could actually be miles away by the time he actually logs in. Green is currently following me. We're currently in the process of trying to chase down my jet. I think it should be. Oh no, this is north. This is north. No, we're going wrong way. South. I can't believe this. I'm in a total panic because I'm trying to keep it loaded using my other camera account as well so that it doesn't stop and break, because that would be really frustrating. Yes, there it is. My jets. We got back to it. Oh. It's a bit of a tricky thing to ride, but I think I've now reached the point where we can both cruise in it. I think Green's gonna die. Right, well, I mean, this is probably where I'm going to be. That looks like the least comfortable place I've ever seen on the jet. But this is perfect. I mean, I guess I should just chill out here and then wait for Iskall. I mean, I'm actually going to look at this on my screen just to ensure that no phantoms come along and kill me. But I think I should be okay. But anyway, ladies and gents, I think that just about wraps things up for today's episode on the Hermitcraft server. This has been very, very interesting indeed. I'm excited to see Iskall's reaction to this one. I'm going to be cruising on this for, well, I'm going to cruise on this overnight, and we'll see when he eventually finds it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.